Hi everyone, it's Mimi. Welcome back to my channel. I am back with another project share and tutorial for Beebeecraft, and I will make sure to have all the information down in the description box below. So today's project is super simple, and it does not require a lot of supplies, but anything that I do use and that Beebeecraft carries, I will make sure to link it up in the description box below if you're interested in finding where those products are. Also, make sure to use my coupon code, which is MIMI5, to save $5 on any orders over $40. Right now, I know that they have a couple of sales going on certain items. I'm not quite sure exactly what it is, but go over there and make sure to just check on their website, browse around. They have a ton of products over there, and they ship super fast. So today we are going to make these flower tassels. I don't know if you guys have seen these. I think they make them in different fabrics. The ones that I've seen are, I think they're fabric or fabric-like material. And a lot of times I see these like in the jewelry department, and then I pass them up and then they're gone. So I have been looking for a way to create my own, mostly because if you look at these metal bead caps, I have a ton of them, and especially in this size. So I created these flower tassels using some bead caps as well as some chiffon fabric. These will be really cute to hang on any type of bead dangle. I have a couple of them that are a little bit bigger that I was gifted in one of my purse charms. So it's just a really cute accent. You can just string them like with a jump ring and then a simple chain and just create a really simple necklace. So there's a lot of things you can use these for. So what I used from Beebeecraft is this die set. I showed this in my haul video, and I used this one and this one. And remember that these do have the smaller versions that come in this set as well. I will make sure to link it down in the description box below. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, first I have a few little pieces of chiffon, and they're just scraps. So I have 3 of these layered on top of each other. Because this material is so thin, I can run that through my die cutting machine, and basically what we're going to do is we're going to make an impression on the fabric. This fabric is very, I don't even know how to describe it, but it's not solid. So in order for the die to cut through all of them, I think you would need to have a like steel rolled die. But this method works. So I'm actually going to cut these 2 out from the die set. I'm going to show you how to cut them out, but we're only going to assemble one of them together, and they're going to be done the same way. So first, I'm going to try to stack them as evenly as possible so that there's fabric underneath the entire die. And these are pretty small, so you don't have to worry about having a lot of this fabric. And like I said, these are just my scraps. So I will have 3 of these, and I will cut this one out. Basically right now I'm just showing you how to efficiently cut out multiples so that you're not cranking this through your die cutting machine over and over again. So this cuts down on a lot of the steps. For each one of these flower tassels, you are going to need 5 of these chiffon pieces. Off screen, I've already cut some out, so we'll go ahead and use those. But first, let's go ahead and I'll show you how I die cut these. I will be using my Cuttlebug Kids little mini die cutting machine. This can just sit on my desk, and it's really convenient when I have little dies like this that I don't want to crank through my bigger die cutting machine. So I have my well-loved plates here, and I'm going to stack the 3 layers on my plate, put the die facing down. I found that if I just kind of anchor it down a little bit with some of my purple tape, it won't shift on the fabric. And I will do the same thing for this design of the die. And again, it's not going to keep it from coming off of the plate, but it'll just keep it on top of the fabric. Then I'm going to put my other plate on top and then crank this through. And I do like to go back. Okay, so I'm going to show you when you take these out, because of how fibrous chiffon is, it made a very deep impression, and I hope you guys can see that. So it gives me a great sort of template and outline for me to hand cut it. So if you are not a fussy cutter, this technique is probably not for you, but I don't mind doing it, especially because you don't have to be very precise, and I will show you. This one is a little bit more tricky just because it has more curves. This one is difficult to see. This one has more of a uniform shape, and there isn't any like up and down areas. So I will try to hold this together as best as I can so that I'm cutting right on top of each one of those. Taking my scissors. Sometimes if the pressure was deep enough in your fabric, you just have to kind of run your sharp pair of scissors along it, and it'll just cut it. You will notice that the pieces will sort of separate. Don't worry too much about it. This isn't something that really you're going to notice at the end when we put it in the bead cap. But I'm just basically taking my scissors, following along. One thing I do want to point out is that these areas where it has the lines that goes in towards the middle, you do want to cut those apart. It's going to make putting the petal pieces together a lot easier. So I'm going to just continue, and you can see I'm not taking much care. I'm not stressing about it, which in essence is very rare for me, because sometimes, if you guys know me, I'm a little OCD, so here are the first 3 pieces. Now if you notice something like this, I hope you can see that. You can see the outline over here. These 2 petals are fine, so I will just go in and just kind of clean that up because they're basically cut, but they're not cut through all the way, and I hope that makes sense. So over time, I don't want it to come apart on me while it's in the bead cap and like on my purse or what have you. So here are these three, and you can totally tell they are not perfect, but it's so fine, so please don't worry about that. So like I said, you will need 5 of these. So for this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm just going to quickly show you. Like I said, this is a lot quicker. Make sure to cut the line in between each of the petals. Okay, so this is cut the same way as the other one, and then you will need 5 of these. Okay, so here are my 5 pieces each. Like I said before, I will put one together with you on screen so that you can see the entire process, and then I will show you how to fold up the petals of the other one so that you guys can see that as well. So this one, I will save that and just show you how to fold up the petals. You want to take each one of these. So this one has 3 petals. And what I like to do is I just take one petal, and because this is reversible, I don't have to worry about what's the top or the bottom. I'll just hold this one in place, take the one to the right, and fold that as close to on top of each other as I can. And then I'll take this one and kind of twist it. Hope you guys can see that. And then bring that one on top. So I have all 3 of the layers now on top of each other. And it kind of creates a little triangle at the top. And I'll show you that again. Then I have a needle and thread. I try to use a coordinating color or something very similar. And I'm just going to go right near the top of that little triangle that we formed. And just put a stitch in. That's it. You don't have to go crazy and try to lock it in or anything. So put that off to the side, and then we're going to work on the next one. So again, with this 3 petals, you want to keep this one down here, take the one on the right side and fold it down on top of the other one. Take the one on the left and twist it to land on top of the other 2. And kind of pinch it right where all 3 of them meet. It's okay if they're kind of off kilter like that. It makes the flower tassel a little bit more full. And then again, I'm just going to put a little stitch going through all 3 of those petals and add that on, just like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to do that, and I will meet you back here once we put the last set of petals on. Okay, so all 5 of my flowers have been added to my needle and thread. So I'm just going to kind of turn these so they're all laying the same way. And mostly you just have to kind of twist them around. Kind of stack them all on top of each other, just like we've been doing. And then I'm just going to take my needle and thread and go back to the front of all of the petals and then come back out of the back. And then I'm going to do that about 3 times. I believe this is an overlock stitch or something like that. And then on the last one, I will just put my needle back in through that open hole and then pull it tight, and that locks all the stitches in. Go ahead and cut that as closely as you can. And you guys, we're almost done. So before I show you how to put this into the bead cap, I will show you how to fold this 4-petal flower up. So the same thing. This one is going to stay stationary. I'm going to fold this one over, and I'm just going to go in a counterclockwise. So then this one, I'll fold that one down, and then this one on the left, I will twist it and fold it down. Now all 4 petals of the flower are on top of each other. We'll do the same exact steps as I showed you with this one. So go ahead and grab your bead cap. My glue of choice is Art Glitter Glue. You can see that this bottle has been very well loved, but this glue holds everything. I've held down wood, metal, jewelry pieces. This is my go-to glue. I can always trust that my items will not come apart when I use this. I like to start with a little dollop of glue inside this bead cap, because this is the only thing that is going to secure it in here. If you don't have Art Glitter Glue, you can go ahead and use any type of strong liquid glue. I'm sure Glossy Accents would work really well. Just make sure not to overfill it. Then we will take this entire bundle and I'm going to fold it kind of like a taco. So here's the top where we gathered all of them. And I'm trying to get this pointy part as pointy as I can so that I can put it in to this bead cap. And I hope this is making sense, but you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I'm going to try to put in as much of that point inside this bead cap. And I'm going to kind of hold it with my nails of my left hand. I'm going to grab something pointy, and actually like a blunt end of a small paintbrush works better for this because this tends to poke through chiffon. And I'm going to go inside here, kind of looks like a little cone, and as best as I can. Okay, this is not going to work. So let's try with some tweezers because it's not so sharp at the end. And I'm just going to work the end of this flower into that bead cap and that glue. And you will notice that the length of your entire tassel will shrink. Now we're securing it inside the bead cap. So I will continue to kind of go around, and if like my outside petals seem to not be in there, and if you guys can see, sometimes when I do that they kind of separate and kind of forms like a different looking flower tassel. See? as opposed to like this one where it's all kind of smooth and more cone-like. This one I did with, I don't even know the name of this fabric, but it kind of frays a little bit more. It's a lot softer and it gave it a totally different look. And the shape of these petals are the same as this one. So different fabrics will make it look totally different. I would just set it aside, let it cure, and then you can put your little jump ring in that hole at the top of the bead cap and use it on any of your projects. So I hope you guys give this a try. I hope I didn't make it more complicated than it actually is, because it's really, really easy. So if you guys have any questions, leave them down in the comments below and let me know, have you made any of these flower tassels before? And if so, like, what's your method? Because I could not find a lot of videos on YouTube showing how to make these. So thank you guys so much for stopping by. Make sure to check out the products over at Beebeecraft, and I will see you guys real soon in another video. Bye everyone.